Hello Wargamers and welcome to another Wargame Red Dragon video with me, Bubblebox, and today I've got something a little bit different. This is a community event and this was organised by Thierry from the PLF faction, and if you want details of this event there is a post on the Eugen forums and I'll put a link to it in the description below, which gives a lot of background details and historical details to this scenario, rules, etc. if you wanted to play it and get the decks for it. However, I will be posting all the decks as well that were used in this game in the description below if you want to have a go at this scenario with your friends. But basically the scenario is set in around 1991 and involves a war between Finland and the Soviet Union. At this time, or around this time, there was a lot of demonstrations, unrest, and even civil war in many of the Eastern Bloc countries, including Poland, Romania, Hungary, East Germany, and the former Yugoslavia. And this leads to a crackdown by the Soviet military in many of these countries. This leads to great tensions, as you can imagine, between the West and the East, and the threat of a Third World War. Now, in order to prevent unrest from spreading to their northwest flank and the threat of war from the west, the Soviet authorities do decide to defend the neutrality of Finland by sending in military forces. And that is basically the background to this scenario. So as you can see, we're playing on the large variant of Highway to Seoul, renamed for this scenario Highway to Helsinki. It's Conquest with a time limit, 3v3, and using certain historical decks. The links to these decks I'll put in the description below, but we're going to have a quick look at my deck and then just show you very, very briefly the enemy's decks and explain the rules while we're setting the game up. The rules are pretty much as follows. The defenders have 10 minutes to set their defences, and in this time the enemy can do certain things but can't do other things. So we've basically, as the defenders, got 10 minutes to set our defensive lines. Now the enemy may use, in the first 5 minutes of the game, the enemy may use recon units that, as they wish. They may use their artillery as they wish, and they may also use their aircraft as they wish as well, with the actual battle starting after 10 minutes of the game. And I will fast forward to those points. So the actual battle will start in 10 minutes when it's basically a free-for-all and anything goes. But there's a couple of other rules. One is you cannot capture any of the zones. This is a conquest game without the conquest element. That's just there to enable the timer to go to its maximum. So the aim of the attackers is to swoop through the whole of the defences and take the enemy's base, and the aim of the defenders is to stop the attackers doing that. Of course, the defenders have I would say significantly reduced firepower compared to the attackers, as you might expect with a Finland versus Soviet Union game. So what we'll do now is I'm just going to have a quick look at the decks while we're setting up for our defense. Oh, one other thing to mention is that the attackers, I believe they did add this rule in, the attackers cannot attack your main base until they've taken, I think it was India, Juliet, and one other one, either Echo or Delta. So they have to take 3 of these 4 at the front before they're actually allowed to move on. So that gives the defenders a chance to kind of defend these regions. But again, you're not allowed to put any commands onto those regions. The defenders may also attack the enemy base as well, although as you'll see when the game starts, that's going to be incredibly difficult against this Soviet force. So let's move on and have a quick look at the deck that I've been given to use in this game. And so here's the deck that I'll be using in this scenario, the Finnish General HQ Operational Reserves. Yeah, a little bit underwhelming, isn't it? We've got BTR, command truck, 5 of those. A bunch of supply trucks, nothing amazing. Infantry wise, this is our best section, believe it or not. We've got some decent Panzer Yaqari 90s. We've got a bunch of those, 14 of those that we can use. We've also got some normal Yaqari 90s, normal line infantry that we can use. Some Yaqari, oh, 2 sets of those actually, 2 sets of Yaqari 90s, so that's 20. Are they trained? No, they're not. They're vetted up, they're hardened, so that's 28 of those, or 3 of those in fact. So mostly our forces are Yaqari 90s, a few Panzer, the better Panzer Yaqari 90s, and then we've got some of these guys with the musty recalless rifles to hold back the tank hordes that are likely to come our way from the Soviet Union. Support wise, nothing amazing again. ITOs with Iglas, and then we've got some other little kind of little guns to shoot at helicopters. Then we've got some mortars, a couple of sets of mortars, some Telakra 71s with a range of 4,900, and then we've got the longer range Telakra 84s, the better one, with a range of 7,700. So we've got a little bit of artillery that we can use. Tank wise, again, nothing to shout home about. We've got some T55M Matties. The gun on these things actually isn't too bad, with a 70% accuracy and a 17 AP power. The biggest problem we're going to have with this one is its armor, with the 7 front armor only. Yeah, nothing really amazing there. If it gets a shot off, it's really more like an ATGM carrier than a tank. Reconnaissance wise, we've got some infantry reconnaissance, pretty decent, shock trained in fact. They've got the Dragunov. I'm not sure if that's going to do us a lot of good in this particular scenario, but we've got the Dragunov that can actually fire on the move, and it's got a decent AP weapon as well. And then we've got the little trucks here, the ATVs that can go around the map and spot for us. Vehicle wise, we've only got one, and it's the ITO variant, 40 points. Decent one, but how many have we got? We've got it's hardened, so it'll be fairly accurate, but only 8. We haven't got any helicopters, and we've got 1 aircraft. It's not the best aircraft. It's a MiG-21 BIS. The range is going to let it down a little bit. It hasn't even got a lot of missiles, and the accuracy is nothing to shout home about either. Speed's pretty good though, and it's got an ECM of 30%. So a dogfighter, a couple of dogfighters really, a couple of elite dogfighters there that we can bring in if we want to. And that's it, guys. That is the deck that we're going to be using in this scenario. I'm going to very quickly, just show you the front page of the other decks in the game. And I'm not going to go through all the decks though, because it would be too long. You can pause and have a quick look. And like as I say, the links to all these decks will be in the description below. So the other 2 players on my team will be using this deck. I can see they've got more units and better units. They've got some logistics, they've got some nice ATGM units here, and some decent Panzer Yaqaris, and they've even got some man pads as well. They've got some support, they've got some rocket artillery, some Telaks, and some nice ITO 90s as well. They're very nice anti-air units. They've got the T55Ms as well, 12 of those. And then recon-wise, they've got kind of the same as us, but they've also got some T55M recon tanks as well. And they've got some, I'll just have a quick look. Are they the Vigilance? They don't look, they're an anti-tank weapon with a decent AP power, but a terrible accuracy. Okay, so they've got 16 of those. And they've got a decent amount of planes, including some ATGM planes and the Hawk bombers as well. And actually, I'm not going to show you the Russian decks at this point. I'm going to leave that as a bit of a surprise in the game. But I will put a description in the below to those decks if you want to have a look at them in closer detail. So the reconnaissance phase is just about to begin. And you can see the enemy's got a whole load of BRDMs and some BRM 1Ks. These BRDMs, really nice little cheap reconnaissance units with a pretty nice gun. and then a whole bunch of mortars, and even more of a whole bunch of artillery in the form of akatsias. Not the best in the world, but remember, these are kind of 1989, 1990s decks, era decks where we're trying to portray here. A bunch of infantry out already, but this is the reconnaissance phase. They've got a lot of time to bring out all the rest of their forces. In the meantime, my two allies have deployed themselves completely on this side to defend here, and they left me with my little reserves brigade to defend the whole of this side, which, as we'll see as the game goes on, may or may not have been a good decision. So let's let the game roll. So you can see the first thing the enemy is doing is sending out some scouts to check out what's going on, and bringing out a load of anti-air fighters just to cover its units. I'm just unloading my infantry. I've just got the Jackeries. Again, not the best infantry in the world, but they have got decent AP power against these BRDMs if I can kind of maneuver myself and stay hidden in the forests as best I can. The enemy's starting to open up with its artillery. BRDMs, I just pushed this forward actually just to get my Jackeries back, just to absorb their fire, just to get my Jackeries back into the trees. And the artillery, as soon as they have been spotted, comes in on my side. My teammates haven't made a move yet. We've got some Panzer Jackeries, which are much better than my units, clearly moving into the forest, just trying to pressure their base a little bit. My little trucks are still alive and moving across the ground, but I think probably not for a lot longer, as one goes down there, the other one's decided to make a run for it, and he goes down as well. So the BRDMs doing their job, scouting out the enemy. We're still, I think, in the recon, as the enemy is sending out some SPWs with some really nice recon infantry inside, just to scout out this side. Spotted by these T-55s. He starts to move a few T-55s in. The T-55, not the best tank in the world, of course, because it's quite fragile with a front armour of only 7. The BRDMs are kind of manoeuvring around. I'm trying to engage them. Having a little bit of difficulty. I don't know how they got stuck out in the open ground. I need to keep these kind of in the forest, let them come to us. But as soon as the enemy know where I am, I get absolutely hammered by the artillery, and it's really difficult to try and hold this line, even at just the recon stage in the game. So they started to, they've brought out these special flowers, or however you pronounce that, some some shock-trained recon units that are all starting to move forward. These have got, are they decent? Yeah, they've got okay AP power, certainly good enough for a T-55M, and you can see the bombers start to come in to take care of these T-55s, and yeah, nice bombing run there. Stuns, shocks, and destroys a whole bunch. And then we've got the air superiority fighters. Just checking we don't send our shitty air superiority fighters over to try and engage their bombers. I think he did have some ITOs here. Yeah, he has got some ITOs, but again, they probably did open up on those planes, but immediately the mortars and the artillery start firing in on these units. Now, I've managed to keep my units fairly well hidden, and he's kept his BRDMs. He's kind of scouted me out. He knows where my defensive line is now, and he's kind of just sitting there. We've got a couple of T-55s just out kind of in the open here, just checking out for those BRDMs for me. And now it's their time on this side. They are scouting out on this side now, and the artillery is really pounding their positions quite heavily at this point. Got some Panzer Jackeries engaging. They should beat these guys, but then they're probably going to get absolutely decimated by mortar and artillery fire. Oh, we're being engaged by... Oh no, who are these shooting at? Whoa! That was a big hit. Okay, yeah, they're engaging these Panzer Jackeries over here. I think that was a T-55. Got a nice shell into them. Another T-55 engaging over this side here. managed to hide itself in the trees, having a go. He just move it immediately after his fires because he knows that that artillery is going to be coming in, and that these units are going to be trying to get close enough to use their ATGMs. There's another bomber coming in for another bombing run. Where's he going? He drops, gets taken out by some ITOs, but manages to get his payload away. I think he managed to get his payload away, or maybe he didn't. Certainly the artillery comes in straight away after those ITOs of fires as he starts to move his ITOs out of the way from where they fired. My units are just kind of holding position. We've got a BRDM just moving forward, trying to get an eye out. I think I've been artilleried again in this position. Pulled my Yakaris back just a little bit. Again, it's all about delaying the enemy, although we're being quite bold on this side. You can see the enemy communicating quite well. We are on TeamSpeak, by the way, our 3 guys and their 3 guys in different rooms on TeamSpeak, but their Akantinyas keep... Now then, the reconnaissance phase is over, and now the enemy can send in all their units. And as you can see, it's not looking good for my side, because they've decided, all 3 players at the moment, to send all of their tanks, armoured vehicles, recon vehicles and their infantry over to my side. And they're setting up a defensive line on their other side where we've got most of our units. Now we have got some artillery, some decent artillery we can now use to fire in on their base now that this phase is over. But the enemy bringing out lots of air superiority to discourage us from using our bombers against their units that are fast advancing on my positions. Now I don't know at this point, I can't see what's going on, and I don't know what's about to hit me. I haven't played this scenario before. I don't even know what the enemy's got in their decks at this point. I didn't even know before the game started what my allies had in their decks, so I've got absolutely no idea what to expect. And then this lot comes at me, and we have a look. What I can see is not a lot at the moment. I'm thinking, oh, just a few BRDMs. I can probably hold them back for a decent amount of time. We've got some T-55s here to hold them off. Then we spot T-80Bs and thinking, oh, maybe there's a bit of trouble coming our way. So put it back to neutral. There certainly is a bit of trouble coming my way in the form of this lot. Got all these tanks, T-72As, certainly a match for the T-55s that I've got trying to hold the line here, more than a match for the T-55s. And then to back them up, of course, you've got the T-80s, well, they're in front actually absorbing all the shots. You've got the T-80Bs, really powerful tank in this particular scenario. Nothing really to touch it unless we can get side and rear shots on these guys. So I'm getting a little bit overwhelmed. I'm trying my best to kind of shoot and scoot a little bit with my units, trying to hold them up. On the right side, they've not really attacked over onto this right side. They're just putting all their forces down here and starting to bring some down the middle now as well, and they're controlling their flank using these T-72As. So at this point I realise that things aren't looking very good, and bringing the rest of my units over here. I have got some ATGMs, but I think about 4. I think I only had about 6 to 8 T-55s. I will show you the deck at the start of this video. But yeah, our artillery's pretty much needs to help me out a little bit and start attacking these blobs. But they've got their own problems over on the right here. Now they have started to try and move in, but at this point they realise there's a big defence down the side and they're never going to get into the base, and they decide to redistribute their units and try to help me by coming across on the flank to try and engage the Russians or the Soviets as they continue to push down into and through Delta. So these poor guys here are going to get it next. Got a little recon squad. These Munikas, they're not going to last too long. In fact, I think they're dead already. Oh no, he's still alive. There he is, sitting there in the trees. He can't really move anywhere. He's not seen at the moment, but quite soon, and there he goes. He didn't last too long once he was spotted. I got some T-55s just trying to do something against a mass of units coming across Delta. So they're defending this area still, pushing more units down the middle. They've moved their artillery. They do continue to move their artillery and their mortars so that our guys can't get a good lock on them. And then more artillery again. Every time they spot me, the mortars come in. A couple of T-55s open up, try to get some flanking shots on the enemy, but immediately mortared to death, basically. Try to pull it back, but by that time we're in range of the tanks, and bang, another tank down the tubes. So what we've got here now, we've got a little bit of anti-air. It's going to try and hold back all these things. I've got a couple of T-55s. They start to open up. At least we've got 3 firing in tandem, but the enemy moving in. We managed to take out one of the trucks there, but that one just misses. We've got these T-72s coming down here. I'm trying to save my anti-air units. So, yeah, they're still kind of leaving. They have got to take these 2 regions, remember, before they move in on our base. So they are going to have to deal with all these units. But for me, I'm just getting completely overwhelmed at the moment. These tanks, one of these tanks, oh no, the tanks just went down there. And now I've just got some anti-air units standing in the way of all these tanks. I've got Judgment here now helping out a little bit on this side. And I'm bringing up a couple of ATGMs that are going to manage to get a couple of rockets off before they try to pull them back and get them into another position so they can get another couple of rockets off, because as soon as I fire, the mortars and artillery come in. So they've got a blob coming down here on the left. Got a load of units and another little blob coming down here. I've got some artillery support at last in the form of these rackers. What a beautiful sight that is. Just trying to hold them back a little bit. My mortars are a little bit exposed there. I do manage to get my ATGMs into these trees to get some more shots off at the enemy, just to try to, in an effort just to try to hold them back. I might even take out a T-72 here. Yeah, I managed to take that one out. So they've got a nice position there, these guys, but I'm afraid that they're going to get completely mortared. They've got their air superiority still flying over. This blob's gonna meet this little anti-air unit in a minute. He opens up on this OT, manages to stun it, which is courageous, but not all 3 of them, unfortunately, as the infantry come out and it gets a shot in the face by a T-72A for its troubles. So they've managed to get a BRDM in here somehow. I'm not sure how they managed to get that all the way over there. But you can see they're pushed all the way through Delta, all the way through Delta. They're starting to engage here now as well. So they need to, these guys on the right need to hold on as well they can. Oh, and these T-80s, look at this. They've actually used all their ATGMs and almost, well, probably at least half of their gun ammo. That just shows you how much stuff they've managed to kill without getting taken out. So now he's moving across towards the road and putting our base in a little bit of danger. I think towards this point, I think I ran out of units at this point, or maybe not at this point. Soon though, I soon run out of units, even this early in the game, because I've got kind of the most depleted deck out of all the 6 players. They're also moving around to the right here. I did put a couple of anti-air units over here in case they came round to the left here, sorry, in choppers, because I didn't have a clue what they had in their decks basically before I started playing the game. So I thought they might have some choppers, put those around. They get immediately taken out by these BRDMs, and still this BRDM here spotting everything we're bringing in, and it's nicely hidden in there as well. Very nice little unit in there by A2. I do try to put some units in this little compound here. Not that they do a lot of good, but we are reinforcing. It seems to be reinforcing Bravo, probably trying to just stop them flooding across and flanking us and encircling all our units. We've still got a lot of units over here, and remember they've got to clear a lot of these units before they can move in. Now where are they targeting? I think they're probably, yeah, so they're turning their artillery on these regions now. and not so much on my region. That gives me a little bit of respite. I do get the rest of my units out. Judgment or Judge Man also bringing a few units out to help me. I wish I'd had some of these nice ATGMs at the start of the game, I have to say, but he moves his way too close, and yeah, they're going to get taken out if he's not careful. He needs to unload them really quickly because they're way too close to the enemy now, and I think he's kind of forgotten about them a little bit. I do bring some infantry across here. I'm trying to get them into this tree line here, just to try to at least hold them and stop them flooding down across this ridge. And I decide to make kind of a last stand at this ridge line here, because at least the tanks have got to be on top of my infantry if they are trying to come across this ridge line, and I can actually use my ATGMs and my recallers rifles to a little bit of a better effect if I'm just going to try to halt their tank push at this ridge line. So he's getting overwhelmed here now as well. So I'm trying to just get some units in and around these points where they're going to be coming down the road or coming across the ridge, and just trying to put a last line of defense in there. Judgment's also managed to unload some conkers in there. Now they are getting attacked a lot more on this side, and the enemy has swept in through to Echo now, so the Soviets swooping in through Echo. He's got his Yakari 90s, which are decent infantry. They've got okay RPGs, AP power of... Although against these T80s, again, it's going to be difficult against front armour. BMPs they should be able to take out, and the T80s, T72As be backing up these T80Bs. Yeah, he's not going to last that long. It's just going to be a delay in action. What's he got back here? Some Yakaris in the building, some more Yakari 90s in the building. He's got his ITOs just pulling them back. But it's proving to be very, very difficult, supporting with a little bit of artillery. We've got artillery, we've got some Telak 91s back here, firing away. Meanwhile, I have managed to unload my units in the positions I wanted to unload them, to try and hold back the enemy as I just try and save my anti-air units. So we're kind of they've kind of stopped advancing a little bit. But they have, as I say, they've got to now take out these regions before they're allowed to move back into our base, and that has given me a little bit of respite and a little bit of a time to set up some sort of defence along this region. So they've got kind of a bit of a blob going through in the middle. They've also got T64Bs, which are another really nice tank in this scenario, with the 13 front armour, but these T80Bs are just doing so much damage. Although he did manage to take one out there. I'm not sure what destroyed that, but oh, was it this poor T55? It might have been. Oh, one in the face, and it actually managed to survive, which is amazing. And he might even get another shot off if it's really lucky. But the T80Bs start to move in over towards the south now. What we've got over here, yeah, he's just getting all his artillery into position to get a little bit closer, I think, to help out when they do their final push, or try to do their final push onto our base. Move forward a little bit here, but bringing lots more units. You can see the Soviets have got an immense amount of units they can bring to the field. My units, well, I've pretty much run out of units. I'm just spreading around my Yakaris in these tree lines. Yeah, that's pretty much all I can do, to be honest. Now, we do manage to get a line set up along here, and I think there'll be Panzer Yakari 90s, hopefully, in this tree line, as they bring forth another load of BMP-1Ps and a load more T-64Bs, and I imagine they're going to just try and thrust straight down through the centre. Loads of T-74Bs coming in, even a bit of anti-air. Oh, we've got a unit around the back here, but they are unfortunately just anti-air units. And not even managing to open up on the bombers. So the bombers coming in, where are they going to go? Oh, they're just bombing here. Yeah, so they're starting to move slowly forward. Well, they've even got some units over here towards India now. But the T-80Bs, again, we've got some anti... They're not really hitting much, though. Oh, it's those... Yeah, I know what they are. It's these things. Yeah, not the most accurate plane in the world. I mean, they can be okay if you spam them out like that, but didn't unfortunately manage to hit a great deal. And these T-80Bs, again, absolutely devastating everything they come across. There's a poor, lonely 80 GM unit there trying to get some shots off, but he decides he's had enough. He's legging it. Yeah, and he's going to go and reposition himself to try and get another shot off. Oh, but he takes it in the arse end, and that's the end of him. So we are now, yeah. Oh, it's just it's not Panzer Yakaris, it's just Yakari 90s now. T-64Bs. And hopefully we can kill one. He's moving forward to try to get into some sort of a position to be able to engage these guys, throwing his vehicles forward as kind of a meat shield, but just not even managing to kill one of these guys, it seems. Yeah, even these T-64s are making mincemeat out of these Yakaris. They are taking shots, but don't seem to be doing a massive amount of damage. We need to get side shots on these guys, really, to take them out. A bit of our... Oh, that was close. But you can see these T-64s. One of them gets another shot, and another one, but still surviving. Yeah. These are indestructible, these tanks. The more... You can see the rockets are actually hitting them, but doing little or no damage. I mean, the Yakari 90s, I mean, they've not got too bad an AP power at 16, but they're just not doing the job. They can't get close enough. And the Finns basically haven't got really any answer. We've got a couple of Hawks flying above. Are they going to manage to do anything? Where are they going? They're dropping their payload. Going over there though. Oh, it's after the T-80s, it looks like. Looks like these T-64s are moving in now. Managed to clear out this ridge line with the help of the T-80Bs, and that's the end of Bravo. And as you can see, they're starting to sweep through India, Juliet and Echo now as well. And they've actually started to assault this ridge line where I put my last line of defence. And I'm starting to push through the middle, and I'm getting flanked now. I've got no cover down the middle anymore as they start to move towards our base. And we've still got 23 minutes to hold out if we want to win this scenario. Yeah, don't put any bets on us winning, guys. So you can see how much they've been using their artillery. These Akinsanyas are actually out of ammo now. They're probably coming down just to use their machine guns. As they start to come forward, now they're pouring units down the middle towards our base. We've got the Hawk 51s trying to keep their tanks at bay. Going to bomb the road where these T-64s and T-80s are coming in. These are the things that have done all the damage. They like flipping, well, they like tanks. They're just unstoppable. We've got some Yakari 90s sitting here from me. And what I need is a couple of nice side shots on these guys. Can I take any out? Absolutely. Did I take one out? No, no chance. Absolutely no chance. They continue on their way. I've got some more Yakari 90s in the trees here. Let's see if they can do any damage. If they're going to open up, maybe they can't see them. They've gone straight past them. These Panzer Yakaris are just trying to get off this tree line to get some shots at these T-80s. I think one gets taken out. That's nice. Oh, Panzer Yakaris on the sides here. Mine aren't quite in the right position. And now they're in the right position. I managed to open up, get a back shot on this T-80. Does it a lot of damage and manages to take one out. Now needs to have a go at these Brom 2s. Managed to take them out as well. And now the T-64B. One shot in the front. Does it a lot of damage. Some artillery coming in. That gets taken out. So these guys have done good, but now they've got one heat rocket left. Now they're getting absolutely obliterated. They're out in the open, and they are going to last seconds against those BMP-1Ds moving in with their guns as well. We've still got some Panzer Yakaris just blocking the road. Judgment bringing some more. Judgment bringing some more units in here, just putting them along the tree lines. I've put a whole bunch of units in here, hoping I can stop them at this last point. Again, I've only got the simple... Oh, I've got a few of these. Oh, I've got some Panzerjäger 90s in here as well. So this is kind of our last lance of defence now. I just try to bring my mortars back. Got the Hawk 51 again. Looks like we've only got one left now. I wonder how long that's going to last. I'm not sure what it's attacking. These little ATGM planes, and it comes up against a wall of... Oh no, they're not fighters. They're bombers coming in. Oh, they're after these guys on the tree line, and yeah, nice bombing run. Pinpoint bombing run. Really nice bombing run there. Takes out all those units on that tree line. Just trying to hold them back now with the mortars as best I can. Got a few units left over here. These ones on the left here didn't really do any good, nor these guys. Next time I'll probably bring them a little bit more centrally to be able to use them. You can see the enemies. The enemy's biggest problem seems to be running out of gas rather than actually running out of units, because they are still pouring units down that road. I managed to capture a couple of Urals there. But the action now is in the base. I've got a few machine guns there just trying to open up, but how are they possibly going to hold back all these units? Oh, they might take down a SU-22 though if they're lucky. Did it manage to get out? I don't believe it. Oh no, it gets shot down in the end by somebody else. Okay, so it looks like I probably shouldn't have grouped these up quite in a bunch like that. I think they've probably been spotted now, which means could be a bombing run or artillery coming their way. Spread a few more units along the tree line coming towards, if anything comes towards our recon. Our command there. Got some rocket planes coming in now, and a little bit more mortars from me, and another bombing run by the enemy. We've got quite a bit of AA, but it just can't cope with the amount of planes that are flying over. That bombing run not quite as effective as the last one, so I've got a few units coming down here, and hopefully what's firing at them was that oh, we've got a nice some nice ATGM units at the back here, just taking some shots down the road, managing to hold them back for a few seconds longer, taking out another one of their armoured cars. These 264Bs are just throwing all my units forward from the left here now. The ones that are sitting there not doing much, just going to throw them forward, see if they can do any damage. Getting pushed right back now. Still got their air superiority up. Nearly cleaned out all these. Well, they've pretty much cleaned out all of these areas over here, which means they can pretty much walk into our base now whenever they want to. And they're still bringing in... The bombers are able to pretty much bomb unhindered now. They've got pretty much complete air superiority. I did have two fighters, by the way, in my deck, but they were really bad and I lost them really early on. So there's another bombing run. It looks like it's coming on across my futile attempt to move across from the left, and more we've got rocket artillery coming in now by the looks of it. Bombing run, and destroys a few more of my poor units. That is not actually rocket artillery, that is just the amount of ataxeas they've got firing into our base. So yeah, now that they've cleaned out these three areas they can now just move in and attack our base, so we can expect lots of bombers and artillery just to be pouring into our base now. Still got these Panzerjäger 90s sitting here, trying to do some damage, but now they can fire in on our base. The mortars come in and pretty much decimate those guys. So now we've just got a few units scattered along the road to hold out for the last 17 minutes. They're moving in from the right hand side as well. Got a nicely positioned ATGM unit at the back here, but ooh, some gallant last defending by the rocket planes against these T-64s. And a big bomber coming in. Is it going for this guy? I think it is. Oh no, it's going for the yeah, it just went for the ATGMs at the back of the spawn. But yeah, it's yeah, more planes for air superiority. They've even brought in some choppers now. I didn't even know they had choppers in the deck. They've obviously just used... We haven't got hardly any anti-air units. My poor little truck firing away, and wow, yeah, okay. So we've got one BTR command left. Even their fighters are coming in to have a go. Got a little Ito at the back. Even nearly manages to take one of their fighters out. Got an Ito down here. It's about to get destroyed as they take out our last command. And it's GG. So that was quite an interesting scenario. The Soviets obviously completely overwhelming the Finns in that game. It's not, I don't think it's quite balanced yet. The Finns probably need something just so they've got a chance to win that scenario. But I quite enjoyed it. Well done to the guys that organised, or the main guy that organised this event. It was really good fun. I think they're going to tweak it, they're going to balance it a bit, and then they're going to have another go. So I will put in the description below the link to the forum page, which gives you kind of the historical background to this scenario, and also to all the decks that we used in this scenario if you want to play this with your friends. Thank you very much for watching. Please put comment below if you want, and please do give me a thumbs up. It really helps. I'll see you in the next one.